You are listening to DC On Screen.
Oh man, welcome into DC On Screen. I'm your host, David C. Robertson. This is Jason Goss.
Hello.
Busy week. The stupid Superman lawsuit was dismissed.
That was never a thing. And it will always be.
And that's great, because Superman comes out July 11th. Marketing is really starting to pick up. They put up a huge digital billboard in New York City, Times Square. Shows Clark Kent and Krypto staring out over the cityscape and, you know, doing the whole New York look up thing. They've been putting out clips. I'm seeing toys popping up on shelves. Looks like there's going to be some sort of a Yeti, maybe, for them to fight in the Fortress of Solitude. We haven't seen that in anything else.
Why not?
And yeah, they're actually they're popping up nationwide. Like, people are posting in my little action figure groups on Facebook and stuff like, look at this. I'm like, oh, look at that. Lex in his green, purple fighting suit, which we've been fooled before. Mm-hmm. We had Mattel put out a Lex in his suit, in his armored suit. That shit didn't come out. That wasn't in the movie. Yeah. But, you know, they make the toys a lot of times based on the scripts and the concept art and all of that crap, and then it doesn't account for last minute changes. And apparently in BVS that was going to happen, but then it got leaked somehow. Jeff Johns to Kevin Feige. Anyway, what we've been told, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I would 100% use the toys to just fuck with people anyway.
Yeah.
Like just release 4 different villains and make the ones that weren't the real ones rarities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, whatever. I don't know.
Well, it's funny, but, you know, to get word out, you don't, like, if you just want to mess with people, you don't have to put out a lot of them. They really can be rare, because if 4 people find it, one of them's going to post it and that'll make a little story out of it. It just has to get traction and have like a real actual in the package legitimacy to it, and that'll
I would think they wouldn't want to do it. The filmmakers wouldn't want to do it too much, because, you know, you're already getting, like, you don't want people's expectations to be dashed so much. Like, they're seeing all these cool toys, like, oh my god, it's a fucking Brainiac, and oh my god, look, they're gonna do fucking Parasite, and wait a minute, there's too many things in this movie.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, brings me to this. Can we as a people stop laboring under this pretense, this delusion, whatever it is we have, that the general audience...
I can stop you there.
Right,
no,
I know.
But go ahead. Continue your dream anyway.
We stop acting like the general audience is going to have this terrible experience. I can't understand this Superman movie because there's a hot girl. Oh, who is this Mr. Terrific? What is this Guy Gardner? I was just trying to watch a Superman movie. Oh my god. Look, these people are going to go see a Superman film. They want to see a Superman film. They're going to be introduced to other characters who they may or may not be familiar with from other media. It's a lot like how they went to the Guardians of the Galaxy to see cool space shit in the Marvel Universe, and they saw cool space shit in the Marvel Universe while being introduced to characters who they may or may not be familiar with from other media. It will be okay.
Yeah. I mean, nobody saw, you know, RDJ and thought, when are we going to get the raccoon? Immediately. Like, that wasn't even...
You didn't.
You know how divorced we were from that thought?
I was over there.
I mean, maybe...
Like, I saw the trailer.
Just taste that fucking tree from here. He's almost alive.
Yeah, I saw the trailer, the Iron Man, like, dun, dun. I was like, yeah, Rocket Raccoon, motherfucker. No, I didn't even think of Rocket.
I would love for you to just be thinking ahead. Like, as soon as you saw that Miss Marvel, I know we're going to get it any minute.
Yeah. I
don't think that's been created yet. Doesn't matter.
I was sitting there going like, this is cool, but I wonder how it'll fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
I am shocked that it hasn't. And people say, oh, well, it's not nearly as good as it used to be. Oh, shut your mouth.
It's still doing fine.
These things, you know, I haven't kept up very well. But you know what? I just saw that Jessica Jones is going to be in the next season of Daredevil, and I went, hell yeah.
I wondered when she'd show up again.
Hell yeah. I'm not, man, I just got to catch up. I'm just behind. I'm not mad. I'm not sitting there going, MCU. You know, those guys could just fuck right the hell up.
Yeah, that was weird.
I'm like, hell yeah.
It's been a weird reaction.
So anyway, the Superman trailer, man. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. It got so bad that I had to Google, does everyone else feel like this kind of thing? And yeah, like the ratings over and over again were just It's weird to be in a positive world.
It is.
It's weird to be in a positive world where there doesn't seem to be that much shitting on a thing that I'm excited about. It's strange. It's strange. I'm not used to it.
It is cool. And I'm not like 100% with the trailer. Like there's a couple of little bitty things that I'm just like, oh, I hope they don't do that.
Get out of my life, Dave. I don't need this shit.
I would bet money. I would bet real money that you could tell me what my issues.
Which two things?
Yeah, like it's literally like two things for real.
You know what? I'm actually curious. I'm gonna hit play in the background while you're talking, which I'll probably do several times while we're doing. I tend to just hit replay while we're talking.
Yeah, but you're not gonna have the audio on, and that's my issue.
Oh well, I don't know. I may have it decently memorized. Now. Let's see. Well, that's a good point. Is it dialogue or audio?
It's dialogue and possible editing of dialogue. I don't know.
Oh, I really would have to see that. Where is that?
You know what? I'll just go ahead and get to it. I love everything about this trailer, but I know we will go over a bunch of that. But so there's a voiceover part where Pa says, "Your choices, your actions," and so they did that, and then Lex has Superman.
No, that didn't bother me in the slightest.
He's not a man. He's an it. And then he goes, I will not accept that. It's all just giving Cillian Murphy's Scarecrow and Batman Begins the Batman. I'm like, I just fucking hate that shit. I hate it.
Oh, I didn't catch any of the extra syllables on that. I loved it.
Oh, God. But maybe
it was deeply
it might have been edited in a way to fit the pacing of the trailer. And it also, the context of the movie might, once I get a feel for the characters, it might feel completely different to me. But I
would think at the very least. I mean, what I thought you were going to say in exactly that spot, I thought it was just where he's actually saying like, you are your choices and your actions, or what was that? What
your choices, your actions. That's what makes
your
you
choices,
who you are,
your actions. It took me like 3 attempts to figure out actions. I assumed that's what he said at some point. That was just my brain couldn't interpret the word. I thought that's what you were going to be at. That it was that garbled, but no. I didn't like the heavy extra syllabic take.
If I had a third thing to complain about,
I'm going to listen to it in the back while you're talking.
If I had a third thing to complain about in this trailer, it's that they fixed him blinking when the can hits him in the head. Because now it's reading as people are like, oh, ha, 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 they changed it. They caved to peer pressure. And Gunn had defended that, like, why change it? I liked it. It was a peak of humanity. It was, to me, it did not feel like, oh, he felt it and it hurt him. It when the can hits the back of his head, it felt to me like it hurt him emotionally. Like it was feeling the hatred of people for doing something that he thought was right.
Yeah, but like, all right. So here, let's. I'm gonna watch that part again.
And also, why do you like the gnat that hits me, that flies into my fucking face, doesn't hurt me?
See,
but I still flinch a little. Yeah,
but like, did he not blink in the first one?
He blinked in the first one. He didn't hear. They literally went in and changed it.
That's confusing. I mean, I don't mind the change at all. First of all, I didn't notice, and I think that's what people are going to mostly do is not notice. But like the over scrutinizing crowd, of course. Yeah. But man, didn't care. But even then, like I was on the side of I would have left that out. But I was saying leave out the fact that his head reacts. I didn't give a shit about the blinking. The blinking was exactly what you're saying, reflexive. It makes no difference whatsoever to me that you blink. The head moving at all would be what I would have taken.
He's just walking and he gets hit. He gets hit now. Like that's it. Like he doesn't blink or have any reaction. And I'm more of a petty person. I'm more on the line of like I don't give a fuck what he. I mean, I could justify it either way. I don't give a shit. But I just. I want the naysayers to not feel like they got to win.
Yeah, I mean, they don't. I mean, you can feel that way, but even if we're going to let him have a win, so to speak, it can just be, okay, fine. Yeah. Like, you don't want him to blink? Okay, Gunn's listening. Okay, he's going to be there for you. Like,
yeah, but these assholes, they're not going to accept it either way. Like, that's the thing.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that they've ever been actually handed a little bit of an olive branch here and just... Maybe okay. We'll remove the blink. Shut the hell up. Listen on one thing.
That's hilarious.
If you'll just watch the fucking movie.
That's hilarious, Jason. The fact that would be the olive branch that Gunn chose.
No, I know. Just this little thing. I I think more people made it into the theater as a result of Sonic's legs changing.
Oh, definitely.
Just because they were like, oh, okay, all right, I see you heard me. I'll go see it.
That was
now.
an entirely different situation.
I agree. Just saying that, like, if you care about this enough to be like, oh, the Blink, you might actually care enough to be like, yeah, well, all right, I'll be there.
Yeah. I watched I can't remember who it is. I'll try to, James Gunn called him out, and I'll post a link to him. But there was a guy who did a trailer reaction. My favorite thing that I've seen was he's just like, just being boisterous and loud, talking about how much he loves Superman. And then he was just like, he gets this one shot of Superman in the trailer being taken into custody. And he's just like, look at them big ass draws. That's Superman. What do y'all want?
I mean, he's right. There's probably 20 of that man in my room somewhere. And everywhere I look, it's fucking red pants.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's red pants. I got a couple rebirths in here. I'm sure there's a cavalry
of New 52 floating about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got that the 1000 thing over there that's just era after era. And let's see, there's red.
Yeah.
Red on the very last one. I think in the 90s he had jeans on.
Oh, no, that was that Grant Morrison New 52 thing. That's
the one I'm talking about is the one where he's got like bullet holes on the rock behind him, Lois Lane's everything. So like
it's like blue jeans and a t-shirt. Yeah, that was Grant Morrison. That was New 52 before he got into the.
Well, that's the only one that I can't tell you for sure whether it does have red under the denim.
Probably.
I assume you might know. But
I mean, all I can say is, yes, Miss Lane, I like pink very much. Now. Anyway, we should talk about this trailer, actually.
I could almost go frame for frame how much I started to adore it as it came. I mean, genuinely, the very first bit, my God, I see why I chose their conversation here to start. It's just, this is exactly the kind of engaging bullshit I wanted out of these two. She's so practical. She's selling everything that she's completely selling her side of the story. I believe their argument. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful. But, God, he looks so fucking thickly like Superman. I don't know how else to describe it. In the chair, the man looks like he's fucking Superman. He's a giant block that looks like the things around him are he's having to be careful. I love just even that little piece of it.
Yeah. I love starting out with Lois and Clark doing this interview where it progresses. As it progresses, the music is
the philosophy of it.
Yeah, as the scene progresses, the music is more and more intense and feels like we're watching more action than we actually are. And it's just so telling of who these two are and what their relationship is at the moment, and the attitude Superman has. Like he's
trying to brush it off.
He's this sort of Midwestern naivete about him. Yeah. Like how he handles himself on the world stage. It's just brilliant, man. Like I love it. Like I'm already seeing
she's pushing the fuck out of him the whole time. Like he tries to it's a lot, dude. Like she's not going to let him go. That's my fucking Lois right there.
Dude, I am already seeing, I was right a couple of years ago when I said Rachel Brosnahan would be the best Lois Lane ever. She has already got me. Like First off,
that might be a neat. If you're James Gunn, that might be a neat thing to have like just shown. We haven't seen her until now. She was like kissing him, I think, in the teaser. But like this is the first time we've really gotten to see her do anything. It's an obvious win. Imagine the win if you're James Gunn, just knowing that whatever else you don't have to worry about this one. It's in the bank. I'm gonna fall in love with her 4 seconds into her being on the screen if it takes that long. It's gonna be wonderful. Such a weapon.
And that voice change when he says Miss Lane, like that was dope. I got chills. I got goosebumps. But
God, I love when he starts to get emotional. Like people are going to die.
Well, like I love before that.
That's where I started to get really invested. That's a dude who he cares.
I got that. I got the goosebumps on that before he says that when he like smirks or whatever. She's like, "Oh, you find that funny?" And he goes, "My actions. I stopped a war." And she said, maybe. And he goes, not maybe. I did.
Not maybe.
It's like, dick. Like, you are so overconfident about this. And she's...
Well, I mean, but that's what's going to be fun about this. I'm like, I see his point. But...
And she's like, in effect...
They show the footage right then. They've got the receipts on the trailer. Yeah, he clearly...
And she says, in effect, you illegally entered a country. And then he's like upset. He's like, this is how you're going to be? And she's like... I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Like, I love how she's trying to steer this away from him taking it personally and pointing out with that emphasis on Superman that this isn't a conversation between Lois and Clark. It is an interview between an unbiased reporter who is damn good at her job and Superman, who has done some possibly, in the eyes of the public and the United States government, some egregious shit.
Yeah. Well, it will be made to look like that and be made to have taken that, to be taken that way. But she also, and I think she's going to end up being kind of the architect of how he goes about, like how he comports himself. You know, like she's going to be the one who's just strategic enough to actually get her head around the politics of how to go about being Superman and Clark Kent at the same time. I think she's the one who's going to give him the playbook. Like, be his
yes. And it feels so much like the Jeff Loeb comics where you had Batman and Lois kind of being Superman's common sense sometimes, just being like, dude, you're getting in your own way. Fuck, stop this.
Dude, yeah, occasionally she's dealing with a fucking farm boy sometimes. Like, and her patience tells you that.
How do you like this? When Lois says, when she says, did you consult with the president about interfering in that war? Like, when she said, did you consult with the president? It cuts to Lex.
Yeah.
Is that foreshadowing? Yeah. Are they fucking with us? Like, is he, we don't actually know. Is he president in this movie? I don't think he will be.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine they're not going to head that way somewhere.
Yeah. I didn't see, like, they have him in the, like, so all the stuff around him is very much the tech guru side of things right now. There's nothing, they didn't flash anything presidential, but his ambitions in this trailer are very, very much, or very clearly that high anyway. Like, I think Gunn had already told us this. Like, his motivation is just going to be that his ego cannot stand how hard he's working, and this guy just swoops the fuck in. He has done all this bullshit with his own fucking bare hands, and this guy just literally flies the fuck in and does stuff. Oh, hell no. And yeah, I mean, that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved, like, when she asks him if he consulted the president, he's like a little kid. He's like, no.
No. Man, you were going to ask me that.
She says, you seemingly acting as a representative of the United States, blah, 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 will cause more problems around the world, something. And he's like, I wasn't representing anybody except for me and doing good. And she's like, I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences. People were going to die. Like, I love this conversation. I want to see the context. I want to see more of it. It's just great. But then, like, we're also getting, Superman being dropped into the pavement.
Manhandled?
Yes, manhandled, dropped into the pavement. Like, but the dude, like a normal person helping Superman up out of the crater. Like,
oh yeah, I had to stop and I thought I was maybe gonna have to stop and cry on that when I watched it. Hurriedly watched it on my phone in the 20 minutes after it dropped. Right?
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how much I love that he's, foot forward version in the trailer is just a moment where some dude just sees him and like, what the fuck else would you do? That's the only thing you can do. Superman's down. Go in there and get him out.
Absolutely.
Help. Do what you can.
Absolutely.
Like, go in there and pretend to help. I don't know. It's Superman. Yeah. What are you going to do? Sit there?
Did you notice when Superman is being taken into custody, the street he's on is Waid Street, as in writer Mark Waid?
That's nice.
We got a lot of, the Justice Gang, Maxwell Lord's Justice Gang, whatever we're calling them, Stag Industry stuff in the background. There's a point where, like, Lois says the Secretary of Defense is looking into his actions, and when she says Secretary of Defense, it cuts to Rick Flag Sr. So I'm kind of wondering if he's the Secretary of Defense in this movie. That would be weird. Or if I would assume what it actually is indicating is that Rick Flag Sr. is going to be the person that the Secretary of Defense sends after Superman.
Maybe. What is he in Peacemaker 2?
The head of Argus.
Right now. Head of Argus. Okay. So he may just be, a mechanism there.
Yeah. I mean, he's running around. Looks like he's got, a bunch of LexCorp soldiers with him. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say what they're doing.
And he's going to be treated with I'll say a different tone. It will be a different tone. Like, even Gunn being in charge, Peacemaker and the Superman are going to be slightly different. Yeah. Like, I think you'll see just maybe a slightly more lewd version of his version of justice over there.
Maybe.
Versus here.
We got to see the engineer with her badass nanotech blades and saws cutting through Kryptonian robots. That made me feel a little sad, honestly.
Yeah, I don't like watching those guys go down. But damn, she looks good.
She looks really cool. Fighting.
That is going to be a. That's going to be a fight,
Fighting
man.
Superman in the Metropolis Meteors baseball field with Ultraman. That looks dope as fuck too.
Hell yeah.
Metamorpho in the cell. He's either holding kryptonite or his hand is kryptonite. I'm guessing the latter. They've got him in the cell that they're putting Superman in. Mm-hmm. And it looks like next door there's like a lady in pink, and some people are saying that looks like Black Orchid. I don't know.
I have no idea. I tried to pause it on her and get some sense of it, but I really don't have a clue who that might be. It's just not enough that I could tell. I mean, there was a glance where it almost looked like just I don't know what it was about the pink dress. Reminded me of what's her name from Doom Patrol? Jane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, all I saw was like a dark hair and a dress for a second. But before that, Krypto.
What about him? Which one? Him fighting Engineer?
Yeah. just a quick shout out to him going at her.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Yeah. I threw a lot of my crap down out of my head without like going through it bit by bit. So
yeah.
I apologize.
Well, I went back to look at that one spot and saw Krypto and just wanted to bring it up. It was just exciting.
That's fine. That's fair.
The sheer excitement of seeing Krypto in fucking action.
I noticed when they have like the shots of Superman fighting the kaiju, they've got a sign that's a big belly burger sign behind the kaiju. Nice. And they also have a big screen with the news on it, and that is Will Reeves. That's Chris Reeves' son. So that was kind of cool. That was cool to see.
Yeah, that's a nice shout out, yeah.
So the primary guy he's fighting is the Hammer of Baravia. Looks like a dude straight out of a Jack Kirby comic, honestly. But I know a few weeks ago I thought this guy would be the Lex suit. Turns out it's the Hammer of Baravia. Remember there were the shots of the newspaper that headlined the Hammer of Baravia and footage? That's who we're talking about. There's a pretty good chance the Hammer is in Metropolis to take revenge on Superman because he intervened in the war that Clark and Lois are talking about or fighting about during that interview. Interesting thing about the Hammer, though, there have been solicitations for a Superman book, kids book called Superman Friends and Foes, and the Hammer of Baravia is on the cover of it, and he's got a certain design on his chest. His chest is black, and it's got a gold. It looks like sunbeams, and then he's got a silver M that's to the side. And I'll be damned if it doesn't look like a whole hell of a lot, at least like Nuclear Man from Superman 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might just be a red herring, but that seems
the sparkly mullet himself.
Seems very intentional. The color scheme is gold and black and silver, and the logo looks very, very close. I don't know, but yeah, if you go back to that sneak peek they put out a few weeks ago, where we first see that the Hammer of Baravia, if you play with it's in the dark, but if you play with the lighting levels, you can see that logo on his chest. So that's not just in a book. That's there in the movie.
Yeah. We have our reveal, it would appear.
So we had, in Clark's room, we had a Smallville Giants pennant. This is like orange and yellow Clark's high school football team straight out of like his Letterman jacket and the Man of Steel #1 by John Byrne. We also he has a poster in his room of the Mighty Crabjoys, which is a fictional band that was on Frankenstein's shirt in a flashback on Creature Commandos. And it's also on a sign in the Peacemaker Season 2 trailer.
That's okay.
The Mighty Crabjoys.
We're going to count on an appearance from them in like episode 6 of Peacemaker or some shit.
I guess so.
Some concert where they all get killed for whatever reason.
Here was the thing, like the first time, like I watched it several times, and I don't feel like I saw this every time. But if I stare at it long enough, and definitely the first time I saw this, Martha Kent seems a little underfoot here. Like, oh, I cleaned your boots, sir. I'll fetch them. Like, this bitch saw Brightburn, and she ain't playing with this Justice Bent monster. She's terrified of her son.
Not trying to get in the way.
Like, that was my first reaction. I was like, oh, like, what was that? And then I had to look back at it and go like, okay, she's just, something's going on. There's something happening.
Yeah. I didn't get much out of that scene. It's just that like he sees something and mom's being supportive. Yeah. But like, if anything, there was a glance of, I had one spare thought that she was maybe just trying to get him out of the house before he did all this speeding around bullshit and messed up.
Yeah.
Like, just fuck up the farmhouse again. Just let me get your boots for you. You go outside.
Yeah. That's funny.
Like,
I didn't even consider that.
I just mopped. I just fucking mopped.
Mm-hmm. I did laugh at Eve Tessmacher posing for a selfie with Hammer fighting Supes in the background.
Oh, is that who that was? Okay, yeah.
That was fun.
Of course. Yeah.
I had to pause it on Metamorpho using his powers.
I did too. And he looks fantastic.
Yeah. What else do you have on this trailer, man? I'm going to move on to trailer feedback.
Most of the shots are going to be mentioned in the feedback. It's just shot for shot. Genuinely, I didn't see anything that I was mad about here. Like, it just looks like it's telling a fun story.
Yeah.
I like that we're going to be in the middle of a universe that's already built, or we're going to play with. Like, we're not going to have to do some of the origin. He's designed a very exciting program for us, and God, I was happy to see this thing work so well.
I don't feel like it's been.
Oh, there's Mighty Crab Boys.
Yeah,
they're there.
Yeah,
they're going to die.
What? They're just a fictional band that's throughout the universe, man. They don't have to die. What are you talking about?
I just feel like it's just going to be brought up later.
Yeah,
Concert.
maybe in Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Like they're going to say something about Hanoi Rocks, and there's going to be fuck you, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think it might. I think it's going to be less fun than a lot of people can assume it will be. Like, they are setting up some interesting stuff that, let's be honest, I'm not saying there's a rip-off situation going here, but this is they're tackling something that Zach tried to do in BVS, honestly, where like Superman just drops his dick into a country without asking anybody, and he's gonna do something,
assumes the best,
right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, Warner Brothers gives James Gunn the breadth and the birth to do his version of it like they should have done with Zach. But
I think James is also using an important tactic here. This thing looks fun, and yes, there's a lot of stuff he's going to do there, and starting with Superman yelling people are going to die and defending himself is there's a whole lot of stuff to unpack there. But starting with Superman doing the yelling about I was going to save them, and that's what he's mad about, is smart given how some other things went down. And he's going to drag you into some shit, but he made it look fun first.
Yeah.
And that's just good tactics after what we've been through. That's just a good call.
Yeah. By the way, when there's a quick scene where Jimmy is, I don't know, swiping or something at Clark, they're playing around.
Yeah.
I saw some people posting pictures, like a close-up of Jimmy's screen, and saying that they saw Martian Manhunter. Mm-hmm. I could see how they were saying it. Other people said that it looked like Jimmy was taking a picture with Peacemaker. Had a picture with Peacemaker on his desk. I don't know. It looked like it kind of to me. But, it could also just, I don't know, be anyone else.
I see a picture behind him of him and what looks like maybe his family or something.
I mean, there's a lady and there's someone who's wearing a red shirt that has like a yellow thing in the middle that looks like Peacemaker. Kind of. But on the computer screen, there's a picture that people are saying looks like Martian Manhunter. I can kind of see it.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I managed to hit pause at just the right moment, so I've got a good, decent shot here. The only thing that's clear is that he has what looks like a borderline home-colored pencil drawing of Superman on the desk behind it.
Well, yeah, there's a cork board in the same scene. The same shot that it has there's a little Superman plushie,
little Superman doll hanging on the thing.
There's like a Superman plushie, and then there's a drawing of Superman flying that looks like it's from All Star, and then there's also what looks like
that's his little colored pencil looking thing. I think.
Then there's what looks like a shot from the Brian Azzarello Jim Lee story that happened with the Jim Lee where he's standing on the rooftop with the what I'm talking about. It's fine. With the cape. Flowing,
the billowing cape. Yeah. That's one of the shots in my bathroom puzzle thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. I wonder if in universe they're going to have Superman cartoons and comic books and stuff.
I mean, the logo on the doll on the wall is his logo.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
This Superman has merch out there chilling.
All right.
They haven't started messing with his style design yet.
Mm-hmm. Let's move into some Superman trailer feedback. Over on Patreon, Dr. Steve of Weird Medicine, longtime friend of ours and patron, says, I pray I live long enough.
Lovely, man.
I pray I live long enough to see this movie. It looks incredible. I have faith in James Gunn. Well, Jesus Christ, man. I hope you live long enough to see it too. It's only a couple months away.
Is there anything we need to know?
My God.
Yeah.
It sounded dire.
Yeah, if it's that bad, we'll come up there. We'll try to steal an early copy.
Yeah. I have my my connections. I'm on Threads, and I can.
I mean, I don't have any connections, but if I know where it is,
I can at James Gunn, and we'll see what we can do.
It might be a funny enough story to buy me some sense of safety in prison.
I'm not going to attempt to steal anything.
Could try.
I too want to see this thing. Over on the DC On Screen podcast Facebook group, Andre Sparks says, just from the trailer, I can see that this movie is going to have so much heart. I like that he's not completely OP. I'm not sure what that means, but you're on overpowered. Okay. I thought it meant original poster. And that didn't sound right.
That would have been the Reddit one, yeah.
This reminds me of my adventures with Superman. This Superman has to go up against not just Lex, but the mindset that people have in today's world that you support or represent one brand or country instead of seeing that we are all on the same planet and we have to support and protect each other because we are all together to help us all be better. I loved seeing Clark have emotion. I loved seeing the Boy Scout in him. You can sense the jealousy in Lex. I definitely see Lex's point, but again, overall, if he worked with Superman, he could get so much more done. But he has to be the star. Lastly, Lois Lane is a star already. I love seeing the journalist side of her. I think she may end up being on my top 3 Lois Lane list. In summary, I am hyped, and I am probably going to watch the trailer again. I've watched it like 25 times, Andre. I'm not going to lie. I watched it a lot.
There's a couple of good points in there, or things that it reminds me of too. So Superman does get his ass kicked this whole time, this whole trailer. Like it ends, the last shot is him triumphantly running up into the sky only to fall back down. So it's not like a super, yeah, he's right. OP's not in the cards. He's getting his ass beat the whole time. But what also struck me is like all of his cohorts here are just doing fine. Like they have a nice power shot of them chilling in the middle of the sky, looking like they just kind of owned the battle a little bit. But yeah, he did not get the same treatment. We're not going to get a guy who's just winning this thing or holding back. Yeah, he's definitely got his work.
Dude, I love that shot of Fillion's Guy Gardner just kind of flicking his hand and like that.
And popping.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another point in there though. We didn't bring up the I wasn't representing anybody, just myself, and like the idea of doing good. Or something.
I did bring that up.
A simple line, a wonderful thesis. Simple line, wonderful thesis stuff.
Yes.
Like just hell of a way to start this fucking universe.
Yeah, I love it. Over in the Stranded Panda Facebook group, Don Carriza says, looking forward to this very much. Ron Kentrawitz says, looks fantastic. Big fan of James Gunn. He always delivers in unexpected ways. TJ Stafford says, I hate that I can only like this once. Holy shit. July cannot come fast enough. Patrick Doherty says, I cannot wait for this movie. Russell Brill says, okay, now I'm interested. Pete Grimm Jr. says, the fact that we are getting Superman with a personality is very exciting. I have no idea what you're talking about, buddy. I guess Pete is from an alternate reality where they had a Superman that had no personality at some point. Over to Threads. I ain't gonna take that Cavill slander, man.
There's like, there's a part of me that gets like, it doesn't like Cavill's Superman doesn't feel like he's gonna tell good jokes at a party. That I there's a bit of that I get. Like, I don't feel like I'd have him on my improv team.
I don't know. When Lois says "Welcome to the planet," and that's a double meaning, he did laugh. I think he got it.
I'm not saying he can't appreciate it. It's just some people are fun, some people are funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes those are different people.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not exactly looking for Larry David or something. Like, I don't know.
No, I wouldn't either. I just but I do mark a difference here is that this one seems like he's going to take the piss a little bit out of himself and others more. Like actually take a beat to throw out some jokes.
Yeah, that's like a whole conversation on an episode of Seinfeld where George is like, I'm telling you, he's not funny. And Jerry's like, but why would that, he's super in every aspect. Like the yellow sun makes him all, why would that one aspect not be affected? And George is like, I don't know, but he's not funny.
Yeah.
He's got to have super humor.
I mean, let's put it this way. Like, if you were going to do kind of your own sit around with some popcorn and MST3K a movie, Clark isn't like he's going to be like fun to have there, but he's not going to be a huge contributor to the really good parts of making fun of this movie, which may be unfair because he is a reporter after all. But I feel like he just is more of a stick to the facts guy often.
I don't know.
I mean, we have like in the Justice League, there's spaces where there's people that are the ones to throw out jokes more often, and you got flashes and lanterns for these kinds of things, even some boards. Yeah. But not so much not some soups and some hats. They're a little.
I do like pop back. Like he's got his own gentle humor. Like
sure. Like when prompted.
Yeah, like and again it goes back to that Jeff Loeb arc where basically Batman and Lois have decided we can't be having President Lex Luthor have fucking kryptonite ring. And he can just do whatever the fuck he wants to with it. We told Clark he needs to do something about it. Clark's like, I'm not doing that shit. He's fine, whatever. It's the president. I've got to respect the office. And Lois and Bruce concoct this whole big plan, lie their asses off to Superman. Break it, contact Black Lightning, who is head of the Secret Service. They do a whole thing, break into the White House through a tour and all sorts of shit. Get into the Oval Office, like figure out how to break into that. They open the door and Superman's just standing in the Oval Office staring at them as they open the door with a big grin on his face. Like, what did y'all think was going to happen?
Yeah.
To me, that's
I mean, like, I remember that or Nightwing wearing Batman's costume and getting a chuckle out of Clark, like, or just even like Krypto, like I forgot about the dog.
Yes.
Clark King, that's funny. He has a wonderful sense of humor, not a knock at all. I'm just saying I don't think this isn't a guy who's got like a tight 5 in him that he just thinks about in the shower and has to get out one day. There's a difference.
If someone were to write that scene, it would be one of us.
Yes.
All right. So over on Threads, FlashArt88 says, I loved it. It captures not just Clark, but Lois and Lex perfectly. I'm also really worried that anything bad will happen to Krypto. And I will not be happy if it does.
I share the sentiment. The shirt I chose today was my Take Me Home with Krypto on it. I had the choice. Both were clean, that and the clean royal blue with the logo.
And I'm wearing a Ratty Blues Brothers shirt.
There you go.
But it's comfortable.
But yeah, this morning I was like, nah, Krypto. Yeah, I have the same feelings of trepidation and some borderline borrowing anxiety here. About what might happen to that dog.
Sure.
I didn't even like it that the dog leapt into the fight and she was mad about it.
Right.
That makes me nervous. I don't like that. Run, buddy, run.
I think it's weird that Clark didn't tell Lois that he had a dog.
I think that's a big conversation if it's that dog.
That's true.
Like you're probably just getting her used to the idea that like if you are sitting on a couch with her that you won't accidentally just pulverize her and then like, oh, I got a puppy that has the same powers. But he's cool. I promise.
Our buddy Pud333 says, yes, this hits every note that you would want it to hit for a Superman film. It looks exactly like a James Gunn Superman film would look like if you ran it through an AI.
Yeah.
If it was revealed later that Superman, Suicide Squad, and Guardians of the Galaxy were all part of a similar universe, it wouldn't surprise me at all. That's not a bad thing. I'm not criticizing it. I'm looking forward to it since I love Superman. But what I'm saying is this is a known quantity. Audiences familiar with his Guardians of the Galaxy stuff will easily switch over to see Superman. And that's good news for DC Studios, in my opinion, regardless of how I feel in terms of the trailer not knocking my socks off. And I had to ask, what could they have done to knock your socks off? And he says, to be honest, the action looked pretty basic, but I'd rather be surprised in the theater. It did enough and showed enough. I watched the trailer a couple of times. So I feel like it's a good reaction from Pud, but not gangbusters. It didn't knock his sock off. Effie Opelders says, holy shit, that trailer. Fuck, I want this injected into my veins now. I've watched it 3 times.
A less level-headed approach than Pud's.
I wanted to end it on this very positive note. Effie says, I've now watched it 3 times, including once on half speed for the quick cuts. Damn if that people were going to die isn't going to make me cry in context. The fucking acting. I also love that Corn Sweat looks younger and also less perfect, if that makes sense. He's a handsome guy who you could see with Brosnahan, sure, but his face got a little fat in his cheeks still. He's not as chiseled as Cavill was. I appreciate the just a farm boy from Kansas vibes. I agree with all those things.
Yeah, she's got a point there. Yeah.
I agree with all of those things. All right, so moving on to some other news. Within the Superman group here.
Part of me is like, do we have to?
Why?
I waited a long time for this thing, and I just want to stare at it more.
I mean, you can. Anthony Carrigan, who plays Metamorpho, says he's on the DC Studios Showcase official podcast.
Yes.
I
did listen to that, and he says
it's incredible. I mean, just to know they're getting little glimpses, I love that. It's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that I get to do in this movie, and it's such fun stuff. Just to tease it out little by little is my favorite. Yeah, I want to see all the stuff that he's going to do.
Mm-hmm. He has this little story about how he really. So he's going to do a chemical reaction at some point. You saw that in the trailer. They've got a little still of him doing some chemistry. Yep. He said that he just how he processes, how he does his process or whatever. He wanted to know more about it. So he said there was he was quizzing somebody or some scientist that he knew or something like that about what would actually be involved, what they do, how does it. He said don't be surprised if you can actually see me on screen kind of muttering a few chemicals under my breath because it was important to me for it to be real in a way. Okay, sounds funny. I like the idea of him just on set, just going phosphorus.
Yeah. When asked which comics he had read for inspiration, he says basically whatever I could get my hands on. It was really important to me, and I think it was also one of the reasons James hired me, is because this character in particular has this real kind of pathos to him. And unlike a lot of superheroes, he's not crazy about the fact that he's a superhero. He feels cursed by what he has. And so I really kind of bring something to that, and it really lit a fire.
Yeah. He was enjoying that. They asked him later about, how did that compare to Zaz, who's just enjoying it? Oh, that's very different. Okay.
Skyler Gisondo was on the same podcast, DC Studio Showcase podcast. It's a mouthful, y'all. Just to let you know.
That's a lot of S's.
It is. And he was talking about how he and Corn Sweat became friends, get the chemistry working. And he says, David and I got the opportunity to hang out a bit before we started filming and kind of just became friends. And our scenes, the little stuff we have together, we really are just buddies. There's a real ease to it. It's an opportunity to see the human side of Superman. Also, David's so yoked. He's huge in this movie, and I feel like I gave him the opportunity to talk to another dude with a similar body. This is a guy playing Jimmy Olsen, y'all. Yeah. And he was totally joking. He says he gets to relax.
A guy who is, if forgive me if I suggest it, a bit typecast as slightly diminutive guys in his acting career that I've seen.
He says he gets to relax because very rarely does he meet another dude that also lifts and gets it and is jacked. So he kind of bro down in that way.
Yeah, he's a funny guy though.
All right, and this is a weird little thing, but there was a cute video attached to it that I meant to send you and I forgot to, but I'm sorry. I'll do that soon. But it's a Milk Bone commercial.
Oh, I actually
have you seen it?
I think I saw it on Reddit somewhere. Yeah, because day one. No, it was I saw that yesterday and thought, oh, we made it hours into that trailer before it's on. I forget what even happened. I just saw it very briefly.
The only thing that's really notable in that Milk Bone trailer is Mr. Terrific jumping around and throwing treats to Krypto.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, they're doing a big bit, the Superman's doing a big thing with Milk Bone, and they're launching a collaboration, and there's Superman themed biscuit boxes and an exclusive tie-in comic. I did go to the Milk Bone online store. I was supposed to be able to find the 12-page digital comic, and it took me to nothing. It took me to a 404 page. I don't know what's going on with that.
Oh, somebody else already found it.
I know. It was
that page.
It was a little weird. So anyway, they're doing a whole campaign with Krypto, and you should be able to order the biscuits or whatever from the limited edition Superman box biscuits. Yeah. I don't know.
I want to say that's a weird sponsor, but just guessing that they've rolled this into a shelter dog charity kind of situation, knowing that's something that Gunn thinks about and is basing Krypto off a dog who was basically a rescue. No, he is a rescue. Yeah, he is a rescue.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, definitely is a rescue.
Yeah, Ozu is. Yeah.
Not a shelter rescue? I forget how he met Ozu.
I think he met him at a soup kitchen. They were listening to Edith Keeler talk about how one day men were going to reach for the stars.
Maybe. Well, so I was just wondering, if you're James Gunn, how do you my two dogs are from a party and a workplace, both of which are just in an area where we're this dog needs a home. We just grabbed them because they needed to be somewhere.
Yeah.
But how often is Gunn in a place where he's oh, this dog's going to die if I don't just grab it?
Yeah, I don't actually remember where he found that dog.
I imagine you would have to actually go to a shelter.
Yeah, he's always just said he's a rescue as far as I know.
I just realized that's not a thing in James Gunn's life. It's never occurred to me before. He's just not going to be across a railroad track constantly and see a dog for 3 days and go, that dog's just going to have to come with me. I've seen it 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
He's a busy man.
You'd be surprised.
Maybe.
You know, he's on location
Maybe.
in Svalbard. You know, there's a train track. There's a dog. You know, who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe. I'm just imagining him. I'm just not giving him credit for doing the terrestrial type habits that got me the 2 dogs.
Right.
I imagine he has other grander things.
Maybe.
And has to order out his rescue dogs.
Right. I don't know.
Instead of retrieving them themselves accidentally, like I did.
Well, hook or by crook, man. Whatever you got to do.
Right.
We're going to get to Peacemaker Season 2 trailer after these words. I've got to pee. So, be back in a minute. All right, we are back. And holy crap, that Peacemaker Season 2 trailer. Can we talk about that now?
Yeah. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on this week. Kind of glad you're going to break this down for me, too, because I barely had time to process it.
All right, so I mean, there's not a lot. I mean, the teaser trailer has Adebayo, however you say her name.
I think it's the second one.
Adebayo.
I think
She's dropping Peacemaker off for a secret meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's sort of a recruitment job interview type of thing for the Justice Gang. I don't know if we're calling them Justice League or whatever, but it's, you know, Hawk Girl, Maxwell Lord, played by Sean Gunn, Guy Gardner's Green Lantern, and they are asking Peacemaker questions.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about how he's like he's the finest marksman in the world, and blah da 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 da. And they're flipping her on and off the microphone, and Maxwell Lord thinks he turns off the mic, and they're over there talking about like eating popcorn, like Hot Girl's worried about her ass getting big. Guy Gardner is, you know, shit talking Peacemaker, like, how long this guy sucks, like, I want to leave, let's do blah blah blah. And Peacemaker's like, hey, am I supposed to be able to hear you? And they're like, what? He's like, oh, you're talking about your ass, and you're talking about how I suck. And then like Guy Gardner starts laughing.
Yeah.
And I swear my favorite part of this trailer is the fact that Gunn, like Maxwell Lord is like, it's not funny. Like right before Peacemaker storms out.
Like his annoyance at his own crew.
Yeah. But it's a nice lead in to Adebayo saying, I don't get it. We saved the world. And we have this like montage of them and where they are, where she's saying, we saved the world. Vigilante says, I thought everyone would finally treat us like heroes. And then a scene where Adebayo says, I don't need anyone else. I'll just forge my own path. Economos says, you are living in the worst level of Grand Theft Auto. Which is, I love that line too. And then we get the therapist to Harcourt. I've come to the conclusion you suffer from a particularly severe form of toxic masculinity. She's like, what?
And destroys her car.
Yeah. Second favorite thing in this trailer, Tim Meadows.
Oh, it's a treasure to see. I could not have been happier.
Tim Meadows. Mexicali, you scan for any anomalies throughout that house. Pony boy, don't let them out of your sight. Titties. I want you to take the front door. Encino Man, you take the back door. Dude, you can't just call us that. Where do you think you are? Fucking Berkeley?
Yeah.
Dude, I love Tim Meadows so much.
Yeah.
Like,
it's been a long time since I've really heard his delivery. I mean,
like, honestly, like the last 2 seasons.
And it was perfect here. It was perfect.
The last 2 seasons of The Goldbergs and that entire season of Schooled, which was a spinoff of The Goldbergs, Tim Meadows carried that shit on his back.
You know, I believe that's probably true. I only saw The Goldbergs when it was just sort of on the phone next to me while my wife was watching it. So
it was solid for a long time.
I liked the show just fine. It was just one of those that never made it to my I'm going to sit down and do this queue. And I did see he was there, and but you had to remind me of that. I don't remember him except for like my childhood, afternoon SNL reruns.
It was a fine show until the end, basically, like season 7. And it is notable that season 7 is when Adam Goldberg took his fucking name off of the Created By.
That doesn't sound like something that went down happily. That's not. It's usually not good.
But yeah, Tim Meadows carried that shit for a few years, and
but yeah, his cadence is just fucking perfect here,
dude. Just when he said titties, I crack up every time I watch
that one. Killed me. That one pretty well killed me. Yeah. And just because he happened to show up where I was when I was thinking about it, but like Vigilante, Nothing real special here, except he's just going to be. I mean, he's going to be basically the same, but more incorporated this time. Still one toe short.
So we've got.
But is he a character that's meant to develop? Let's be real here. I think he's supposed to stay arrested the whole time.
I don't know. I wouldn't put anything past Gunn.
I mean, I agree. I just,
he's gonna make us care about everything.
Yeah, he's got me worried about this damn eagle. Yeah, I get you.
Sweet little eagly. Let's go hug him. So we got Rick Flag Sr. He's coming for Chris. He knows who killed his boy. You know, we're doing that. He's and as of Peacemaker, maybe in Superman 2, he's director of Argus. So he's using his position to target Peacemaker and his buddies. And at some point we do see, like, it looks like Peacemaker and the gang are running around what might be his dad's lab. Maybe. And then at some point he's in his tidy whities and he walks through a door.
Is that mandatory, by the way?
Which part?
The tidy whities.
I don't think so.
It sure seems mandatory to strip John Cena every time you put him in something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that is for him. It's like the Will Ferrell thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Will Ferrell's got to be naked in everything he's in. But at some point,
it's always worth a laugh. I guess.
At some point, Chris is straight up. He walks through a door into an alternate reality,
like a doorway, though. It's a weird setup. It's like a lab full of just portal doors.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
walks through a door and into.
Why is he in his underwear walking around in this?
Walks into an alternate reality where another Peacemaker has a very, very nice setup and wants to know who the fuck he is. Now,
this other one got paid the whole time.
Well, maybe. I'm wondering, is this our way of finding out what happens to DCEU Peacemaker?
Oh, yeah. That's my first thought, is we're going to bury it in one of the doors.
Yeah. Like, he's going to walk through and be like, holy shit, what happened? And he's like, oh, yeah, well, I saved the world and, I got fucking rich and sponsorship deals and I became a member of the Justice League because the Justice League. Anyway. And
they just go over how they have real similar stories, and then the old Peacemaker just walks back in and goes like, "Come here, boys," and then Momoa just walks behind him, and that's the end of that universe. They close the door.
Dude, that would be so fantastic if that's what they did.
Just Ezra and Momoa just stroll like, coming.
Yeah, that would be. I don't even need them. I just to know that, like,
you can do it with a voiceover for Momoa. He's so distinct.
Yeah. But to tuck that first season away, like, oh yeah, all of this exactly happened except for the Justice League, and we are nothing in our universe, and that version of Chris became something, and that's where we sit. That'd be dope.
They go through it, they close the door, and then like janitor on news radio style, somebody accidentally ruins that door, can never be opened again.
That's funny. Yeah. The character in the woods with the flames. What do you think? A snow flame?
I don't know.
It looks like Michael Rooker.
It does. That's the only thing I was very sure about, is that it looked like Michael Rooker. But short of that, it just sort of. Let me see if I can find a good freeze frame.
I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, if Snowflame turned up anywhere, it would be Harley Quinn, and he did. And then, like, if there was another place, it would be Peacemaker, like where he's gonna snort some coke, and then that's how he activates his powers.
Okay, 1000% that's Rooker. Now that I'm looking at the thing, but yeah, I mean, this is just, I don't know, some magic shaman looking stuff.
Yeah.
From how many characters we can do that? Because
I don't know.
I feel like that's going to be in our like Comic Castaways kind of thing somewhere. But I feel like that's a lot of characters might accidentally. We should pick that up and just see which characters end up accidentally in it.
Yeah.
It looks fun though. I mean, that would be a cool role. Just a guy who gets really high and solves things with the meditation.
Yeah. I'm curious.
What'd he do? Oh, no, he just gets high, figures it out, and stays at the base. We got the plan now. Cool. We're going to watch some cartoons, Cheetos.
Yeah.
Wind down. Y'all good luck out there.
I'm curious. All right. Let's move on from Peacemaker, I reckon. You got anything else?
No. It looks great.
It does. I'm really excited about it.
Just to put a point on it, though. Very happy that I mean, I think that might be I think the point of including that little second person was maybe to go ahead and pull open the Band-Aid about the multiverse, and I'm okay with that.
Oh, yeah.
Peacemaker's coming soon. There may be an answer like that. I feel like that was Gunn giving us a little bit of a door of like, hey, I'm going to maybe deal with some of this early, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, August 21st, man. I can't come fast enough. I gonna see Superman, gonna get Peacemaker. Hell yeah.
Yeah, in the words of Dr. Steve, we have to live at least that long.
I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Gunn did acknowledge, someone asked if Supergirl had wrapped filming. He said, yes, it has. So Supergirl's production is over.
Ooh,
Now comes
moving so fast now.
Now comes post. Over on Lanterns. You remember, did we talk about how Greg Dillahunt posted a picture of himself as Green Arrow in a storyboard?
I think we did.
I think we may have talked about it. I don't know. I can't remember if we talked
I know
about
we
it.
did private.
Yeah.
I cannot remember if we were recording when we talked
So
about it.
yeah, okay. So a few weeks ago, Lanterns star Greg Dillahunt, who is playing some rando named character, wound up posting a picture of himself as Green Arrow, and there was like a storyboard that made it look like, yes, they were doing that. And then he also like linked the actual storyboard artist for the show in the post. And then that shit blew up and he quickly deleted it. And now he said, no, me? I should be so lucky, but no. Just a Halloween costume from a few years back. I'm just a nerd, just a fan. Unless they want one-legged conspiracy theorist paranoid old man Ollie, then maybe I have a shot. But no intent to rile up.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't explain why he had professional storyboard artwork of himself looking like Green Arrow or Seth Adams' social media handle attached to it or any of that shit.
Yeah. I mean, unless he was just putting it out there to see if it worked.
Also, that was a pretty damn good-looking costume, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, it would fit.
I'd
seen him post something on like Superman Day a day before, but
no,
I didn't realize he was involved. I would deeply love him to do that, by the way.
I'll tell you this.
I love Garrett Dillahunt.
I'll tell you this. I have, up to this point, said James Gunn, he has no reason to lie about any of this shit. I believe him. Now, responding to the whether or not Dillahunt is actually playing Green Arrow rumors, Gunn wrote, no. I do not believe him. I don't believe either of these motherfuckers. He posted some shit he wasn't supposed to post. He quickly deleted that shit, and now they're trying to cover it up.
And now they're just trying to laugh it off.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, I could also kind of buy that he just was throwing it out there as like a half joke, half let's see if it sticks thing.
Uh-huh.
But like you said, that's it's pretty bold.
There's
just joking.
Yeah. It's also like
very effortful version of just joking.
I could, of course, also see a scenario where Greg Dillahunt and Seth were sitting around with Gunn or somebody and joking about how he should play Green Arrow. And then like there's a mock-up of it that he takes a picture of and puts on a mask and a hood, maybe even a mask they're using for Green Lantern on the show, and says, I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it and make everybody think it. And Gunn's like, oh, ha, yeah, right. And he's like, I'm going to do it. And he does it. And then it blows up and everyone's like, oh, fuck. Mm-hmm. You weren't supposed to actually do it, man. We were joking. I can see that. But I think he is. I think he's Green Arrow. All right. So, The Batman Part II. I don't know if you've been keyed into any of this. There's been a lot of rumors going around that Matt Reeves, he has cancer. He has all these awful diseases.
There's been a lot of personal...
He's, a
lot of use of the words personal reasons and personal something.
Well, specifically...
A private couple years for him.
Specifically, I've read that he has some horrible cancer and that he's not going to do the Batman. He's stepped away from being the director of Batman Part II. And someone asked Gunn on Threads, hey, is Matt Reeves still directing Batman Part 2? And Gunn's response was, yes. Huh? So I'm guessing he's still directing Batman Part 2.
I mean, we're just going to have to go with that for now.
Oh, yeah, we will. We'll have to go.
Don't know what to tell you. His boss said he's on it. I guess we're going to have to go with that for now.
Yeah, I don't know. It can't possibly be all the reasons that I keep saying.
Yeah.
That he was literally writing the fucking movie and then HBO was like, we want that for our show. And he was like, fuck, okay.
I guess I'll have to start over and that'll delay the process 2.5 years. Yep, I guess so. Oh, fuck.
I mean, I'm not saying the man doesn't have personal issues. I mean, we know that he's been going through a divorce or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, something's been going on, and maybe he does have health issues. I hope not.
He gets extra credit for the strike pause. And,
yeah.
Hell, I'll even give him a little bit of a COVID pause, just given the timing of everything. But
no, not for this movie.
Well, I mean, just the whole universe moving forward at one speed. He thought he had like one tempo, and then you added a whole TV show to it. And
let's also
like the only thing I fault him for is not seeing it coming when it got turned into the TV show. That he'd have to be like, "What do you mean? I still need another homework assignment? Yeah, you still need to turn yours in." Well,
let's also like
on time.
Even if we, we're like, okay, well, Penguin's one TV show. Yeah, but he also had Gotham, GCPD or whatever, that got turned into Arkham Asylum that he was working on, that was suddenly changed to DCU and then suddenly killed altogether. Like, there are multiple fucking things.
Oh, yeah. He got dragged in at least 2 or 3 countable directions, and then one of them, the thing that he was counting on to be the actual product, it seemed, got turned into something else. Everything else just sort of turned into maybe nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I get that his time was wasted. I just also, like, it doesn't change the predicament he's in. It's just, that's the only, it's not that I'm not understanding.
Yeah.
It's just that it doesn't change the fact of it. The GA has no idea, no clue, and wanted the movie.
The GA won't care. They don't know. When it comes out, they'll be like, "Yay!"
Yeah, kind of, but you will lose the momentum, and you will lose a few dollars. It's not that it's. I'm not saying it's going to have not significant. It'll sand the edges off. This is gonna kill it.
This is like a Will Ferrell effect. All right. Yes. Yeah. Given a certain amount of time, it will take the edges off. Yes, it will kill some of the effect, but then you wait a little bit longer, and it becomes a fervor. Where people are like, nostalgia starts to sink in. You're like, wait a minute, where the fuck is that movie? And then you're like, oh my God, it's coming this year. And then it's just amps it up even more because now you've been waiting for a while, even though you haven't because you just watched the fucking Penguin the previous year.
But that's the problem is he's in some his timing's off because exactly he's going to wait just long enough to redo the Will Ferrell effect only to find that all the momentum of wanting to see a new Batman has been stolen by Brave and the Bold or whatever that movie's going to be.
That isn't going to happen for a while. Look, I think, and by the way, the Will Ferrell effect is Will Ferrell does a joke, is funny, and then he does it like 3 more times and it's not funny and you really hate it, and then you wait and then he does it again and you're like, okay, it was really funny.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and then you don't watch a Will Ferrell movie in another 15 years.
Yeah, of course. But I'm just worried that he's in some tragedy loop where no matter what happens, the timing just isn't going to work out for him again.
I think it'll be fine. I think we're panicking here for no reason. I'm not
romanticizing.
I'm not. I don't care. Like, if they came out tomorrow, I swear to God, dude, if they came out tomorrow and they were like, yep, officially, Robert Pattinson's Batman is not going forward. We had one good movie and a damn fine TV series, and that's going to be it. I'll be like, dope.
I'm good.
That was collective.
Y'all did great. Call it a day. Be proud. I'll see you later.
We had collectively more hours in that universe than we did with the Snyderverse. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I think so.
I don't care. Can we move on to DCU Batman?
I could see your point, but I would. There'd be no part of me that wasn't like, no. Pattinson's been waiting. I don't care what happened to his vehicle. Pattinson's been waiting to take that ride for 3 or 4 years now. You just, in the Hamilton lyrics, one last ride.
Okay, and also let me address this. Like Pattinson just took a role doing something else. I don't even know because I don't follow the man's career. I don't give a shit. But I'm seeing all these. Oh my God.
He's been busy. He's been fine.
Oh my God. This will push Batman Part 2 back even further. No, it won't. I swear to God, it won't. It won't. It'll be fine. They're perfectly capable of doing more than one movie. Like, you know how you will see these actors come in and all of a sudden they're in fucking 10 movies in 1 year and you're like, what happened? How did you even manage this? It'll be fine.
They got a divorce first.
It'll be fine. Right. They were just talking about oh my God, Colin Farrell is in talks to be in Sergeant Rock. The Penguin Part 2 won't happen. Well, they haven't said it's even happening anyway, but him being in Sergeant Rock wouldn't change that. Also, Sergeant Rock has, been shelved or something for a minute. So from what the rumors are saying, we don't actually know, but I
mean, yes and no. Scheduling. If it's a hard out, it's a hard out, and it won't happen.
Yeah, I mean,
but done correctly, you can squeeze 5 movies in a year.
Yeah, it's not.
You just really want to beat the crap out of yourself, apparently.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not set in stone that just because someone's working on a single project that they're not going to get to anything else. And believe you me, Pattinson, they've got him locked in on the contract. If he accepted any kind of stupid role after the fact and said, hey, is this okay? They're gonna be like, yeah, you're good. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
Well, that's also got to be, frustrating. Is you've already made Penguin, you've already made Batman. You're not getting much more out of this as far as this wasn't. Nothing's making you active money. I mean, you've got some merch out there, but it's not killing. So to not make the third one now, you've got to pay off some people.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to reach back into the money that I'd made off this that's not going anywhere but not growing either and just be like, well, I guess I'll take a little bit off the top of that. Fuck.
Yeah. But the Batman and the Penguin did fantastically. The Penguin just came out. Mm-hmm. So, like, we're on a fine track with the general audience. Like, it'll be fine. Like, if it comes out in 2026 or whatever the fuck they're saying, 2027 even, that's fine. I don't see.
I think it'll be 27.
I don't think it's going to be a problem either way. I don't
foresee 2026.
I don't think it'll be a problem either way. DC's going to have so much shit coming. It won't matter. Oh, but there's.
Well, that's my only point is that it'll not matter itself into not mattering at all.
And if it does, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem that you run into when you have a separate auteur making a series of things, and maybe there will be some lessons learned. If it actually does fall by the wayside, which it won't, but if it did, they would be like, all right, well, let's pull Casey Bloys aside and be like, hey, stop ambulance chasing all of our creatives. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, they keep changing it. It's like HBO Now, HBO Go, HBO Max, HBO Max again now. I'm like...
It changed color again, too.
Yeah, I know. Can you stop fucking changing the name and get rid of Casey Bloys?
Also, can we have some color back? Just while we're doing redesign.
You can actually just get rid of...
I like the purple and the blue. What is the gray?
I don't know. Anyway.
Just a small design issue that I would like to throw out there.
All right. Here's the thing. I'm gonna jump to one more break.
Mm-hmm.
And when we come back, we're gonna get into some WBT. Including some shit that Ben Affleck had to say that was very interesting.
Oh, fun.
All right. All right, we're back, and we're going to cover some WBT.
I thought you'd spare me the second sound. I guess not.
Sorry. I'm a dick. Oh, man. There's a fucking rumor going around. There's nothing holding us in. That Will Poulter, who played Adam Warlock in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, is going to be playing Adam Strange in the DCU. He's going to apparently show up in another property first, and then he's going to have his own series on Max. This is supposedly insiders reporting this. I don't believe this at this point. It is just a rumor, and not even from a source. It's from a freaking account called Gunverse. It's like it's a rumor mill.
No, I've seen that.
It's a rumor mill.
Yeah, that thing's worthless.
Yeah. I only bring it up because I have seen so many people reporting it as truth that I just couldn't ignore it. I also like to say I really hope it's not true because I don't like Will Poulter. I don't like Will Poulter. Yeah, no.
I don't think I have an opinion about it. I think I've only really seen him in passing a couple times, but
I don't mind him for other things.
I don't. For some reason, I don't buy that it's happening, but it definitely isn't happening in this sense.
I don't buy it, but I also hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
both of those things can be true. Mike DeLuca. Talking on the Smartless podcast, said, I think James and Peter are working on a live-action Teen Titans, which we already knew. But then he says, and a new Teen Titans Go. I think actually, too. New animated Teen Titans Go movie. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If, Mike DeLuca is in the loop enough to know.
Yeah. And, but they can stay in the normal canon for Teen Titans Go. That one goes across universes anyway.
Yeah, it does.
They can just hop around anyway. It's fine. Mm-hmm. Hell, they could close up the other universe there and just call it a day if they want to. In a weird Teen Titans Go bit.
Oh, yeah. Ben Affleck, while promoting his latest film, The Accountant 2, when asked if he might be playing...
There's so many jokes about that title.
I know.
I didn't realize it was named that. Okay.
Yep. So he was asked if he would play Batman again. He says, hey, anything is possible. Snyder Bros freaking out. Snyderverse returning. They know a flop isn't coming. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool.
Good Christ.
Here's the thing. This means nothing. However, it doesn't mean nothing because this is actually much more open than he has been previously.
Yeah. I mean, that's a complete change in verbiage from
complete,
absolutely not, fuck off,
absolute.
To, yeah, never know. But there shouldn't be any kind of snide reaction as far as that's just not worth entertaining.
It also,
but
it might be Ben Affleck, because Ben Affleck said absolutely not, and then he came back for The Flash. So it might be an aged Ben Affleck knowing better, having just been in a movie with fucking Michael Keaton as Batman, going, hey, anything's possible. I don't know. Probably nothing right now, but who knows?
I mean, it seemed to have more to do with environment than anything. Like it looks like a much safer place to maybe explore for him than it would have been previously.
Yeah.
I mean, among other things, I'm pretty sure that like those films became like a sobriety trigger for him. I don't think he wants to go back into that at all. Like that was, I think, part of like the end of the road for him was those movies and the environment and all that.
No, because in The Flash, after The Flash, he was saying that it was unfortunate, because they originally in The Flash planned to do more with Ben Affleck, because he was supposed to show up in a stinger and be like, Barry, come find me. And he was saying in interviews that, like,
I mean, more like the disappointing era of like losing
right.
Batman. Just, that era of like the BVS turnout and all that.
Right. Well, yeah, like when he was doing his solo movie and he couldn't get together with anything with Jeff Johns, and that was a sobriety issue. And of course, he was also going through his divorce with Jennifer.
There was a ton there.
Garner.
And I'm just saying, like, that's just not, you don't want to put yourself directly back into all of the stuff that was just at that spot. Yeah. I mean, you just try to put some space.
I know, but at the same time, I'm saying, like, years and years after that, after he did The Flash, and that didn't turn out so well at the box office. It was a flop, by the way. He said, look at that. It's, as soon as I figure out how to play the guy, they, like, I'm done.
It's over.
So there did seem to be some remorse there about that. I think he does want to come back. I don't think it's a sobriety trigger for him. I think it is an absolute environment situation with Jeff Johns and all of those people.
Yeah, but that's what I'm getting at is I think circumstances have changed and he's had a little bit of time to grow and feel different. And like that may be a different situation than it was a few years ago.
Yeah, and I think...
And it's just not as toxic as it fucking was. And he must have had a little bit of chance to... He must have been able to hear some reports from other people who've actually been there and just been like, no, this is actually an okay place to be.
We know he's also talked to James Gunn. So
yeah,
while there might not be anything specifically at this point, I think there have been some discussions about, like, once we get kicked off here and get some good feelings under our belt about DC, I don't know. I think there are possibilities. And I've been saying that for years. Ever since James Gunn took over, I'm like, he's going to do his own thing for a minute, but if he really is our only hope, and I think he's our best chance at getting anything, kicking or revisited in that particular universe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, James Gunn knows we all want a crisis. We all want to see universes collide, worlds collide. We want to watch all the Batmen run around together.
Yeah. You have to establish it first, though.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think we even said a couple times, I think I said this at some point, I don't even want to discuss this for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I might have even said I don't want to talk about this until 2030 at some point.
Yeah. Well.
I still don't mind that advice from my past self on that.
All right. I just think, fans need to chill out. And that's a good segue into this. While promoting his new movie, Until Dawn, David Sandberg, director of Shazam, Fury of the Gods, discussed what drew him to the project, citing the creative script and its approach to bringing the video game's story to life. There was a point in time, though, when he couldn't have been at all interested in helming this movie. He had negative experiences with the DCEU. He swore off working on any other project based on established IP. He says, I mean, to be honest, fans can get very, very crazy and very angry with you.
Mm-hmm.
You can get like death threats and everything. So after Shazam 2, I was like, I never want to do another IP-based movie. It's not worth it. But then I was sent the script. I was sent the script and I was like, that would be so much fun to do. I kind of have to do it. And I hope that the people see what we're trying to do and like it. But y'all, stop. What are y'all sending death threats to this man for? Neither of those Shazam movies were that bad.
It wasn't worth the death threat, which is also No, maybe it was the cameos or what was supposed to be in it or something. Who cares enough about Shazam to do a death threat?
I know. You didn't have Uncle Marvel. Fuck you.
Yeah, it was not. It's just not an area. If you care enough about that character to be really invested, I feel like you're probably a decent person.
I don't know, man.
Right.
Alrighty. Last little bit of news here. DC films. There are a bunch of DC films free on Tubi. I don't know if y'all know Tubi, but Batman from '89, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Justice League 2017, and The Flash are all now on Tubi for free. And by the way, good time to go and watch Batman Forever, because our last episode was a review of Batman Forever.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah. That went on for a while.
We had a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Over on X, Chris J023 said, I enjoyed the hell out of this review. This film is nostalgic, but your points are right on. Good time. That was a great comment. Thank you, Chris.
That is nice. I appreciate that. I often forget what we say, and then someone says something about it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, we were dicks about something. Yeah, that tracks. That tracks. Oh, we were kind. Well, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad we were at least being a little bit understanding while we were otherwise being cynical assholes like we often are.
Yeah.
I rarely get the comment back. Like, it's not like, oh, we forgot how we were like overjoyed and hopeful. Okay.
Yeah. I was aggravated too. And I'll say this here, because there's nowhere else for me to say it. Mm-hmm. I forgot to mention it in our Batman Forever review. So at the end,
just a little mini extra bonus point
at the end, Commissioner Gordon and unnamed cop are standing on the roof with the bat signal on.
Mm-hmm.
And Gordon's like, turn it off. He's not coming. And the guy goes to turn it on because he hears the bat wing, and he goes, wait a minute. And he sees the bat wing and he's like, go. And then you see like Batman like give him the thumbs up. Number one, Batman, Gordon, his old ass can't see you giving a thumbs up from that damn jet all the way up in the sky. Two, it occurs to me that there is no way Batman could have known what Gordon had the bat signal on for. He was going after Riddler. There was no way that Gordon knew what Batman was going to go do.
No.
Which means that he had the bat signal on for some entirely different reason. Like, I don't know, the Joker came back to life or something crazy happened.
No, that entire film fucks. I presume it was the same reason that she turned it on. Is to lure him up there and try to get him in bed with lingerie.
Yeah. Yeah. Pat Hingle's up there in his little nightie going like, I'll bring the wine, you bring your scarred psyche, Batman.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just like, so Batman is just, Gordon's just like, this point is like, well, I don't know what he's going to fight, but go. Ha 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 ha. Shakes the hand of the cop next to him. Like, okay. Because he didn't know what Riddler was doing.
No. I think they just had an idea of a scene they wanted to shoot at the end, and we're like, it'll be at the end. No one will care. We'll tie this together. We wanted the shot of Val in the thing. They probably just needed this is probably actually possibly true. They probably needed the shot of Batman with the thumbs up for whatever ads they were planning on running.
Uh-huh.
So that shot was going to make it in somewhere, and it made sense at the end of the movie. So we did that.
Mm-hmm.
And I borderline think I remember seeing that on commercials, the Batman thumbs up moment.
Oh God, it was on so many commercials.
That feels right.
So many commercials. Anyway.
I doubt that was engineered from the front. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you'd like to support the show, if you'd like to have less ads, or no ads actually, patreon.com/DC on screen. We are over there. If you don't want to become like a full-time monthly subscriber, here's the thing. Yes, it does behoove us for you to become a monthly subscriber so that it just charges you and you just don't even realize it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if you don't want to do that and we have something in our catalog, you can just pay for it one time. You can just pay for that thing. I'm slowly going through our stuff and putting a price on it so that you can just grab the one thing you're interested in. So that's neat too. But, $1 patrons, $1 a month, you get every episode ad free. We have a lot of ads now. I couldn't listen to it.
That's a good point. Ads are increasing. That dollar seems like it's buying you less and less these days, but it still buys you all those ads going the fuck away.
It buys you every one of those ads going the fuck away.
That
Absolutely.
Same fucking dollar.
You can join our Patreon for free too and just get like updates and shit. But You can do the $1, get every episode ad free. You can do $5 and get that plus whatever extra weird shit we put up. And we don't do it a ton, but we do it from time to time.
Yeah, we'll drop a half hour there.
And when I say we do it, I mean we literally shit a weird thing out every once in a while.
It's usually whatever 20 minutes or so where we should have been doing the show and against our better judgment went into some other area anyway. And happened to have been recording.
Yeah.
So they're compelling bits. At least they compelled us to completely lose track of what the fuck we were supposed to be doing for 20, 30 minutes at a time.
Oh, and it's so fun too. Like, cause I will go back and look at those episodes like after I've had enough time to not think about them. I'll just like look, cause I will go through and just like write down, I will listen to those episodes and I just write down all the weird things we're talking about.
Right.
And like a bullet point form. And when I go back and look at it, I just laugh my dick off. Cause I'm just like, how did we get from Dave Grohl to a parakeet to, the ice wall conspiracy? Like, I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, so this one would be a little different because it's been very centric around a couple trailers. But for the most part, and before we maybe ripped out like a warm up or a Patreon, something or other, for the most part, if we've recorded 2 or 3 hours, you can click anywhere in that 2 or 3 hours once we've like combined the audio and have no fucking idea what the premise of the show is. It takes at least 3 or 4 or 5 clicks before you're like, oh, okay, this is a DC news situation.
Yeah. This show has been described as using DC news as an excuse for us to keep track of each other.
It's been described as tangential on its best day.
So anyway, we love you guys. And, joining the Patreon really does help us out. I understand time sucks. The tariffs and shit, the world's burning. People are getting iced. And, none of that's fun and everyone's hurting. So, it's not worth it if you're going to push yourself out, but it does help us. So I did get some free stuff, not really free stuff cause you're paying for it. You get some good stuff. And, every once in a while you get, something. I don't know. I've lost track. Anyway, we love you guys and, we're going to go.
So it's a weird sell. The little bit of support that we have there is what has kept the lights on this whole time. Yeah. So much appreciated.
It sucks, because I feel bad going, hey, join our Patreon when the world is burning around us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And people are losing people and it's not a particularly good time at the moment. So I feel bad about that. I feel bad hawking the wares.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many sales careers that just, you would die of starvation in.
Yeah, dude. Like I hate sales. I hate that shit. Like I just feel like a piece of shit. I couldn't do anything like that. And I can't.
I get it. I get it.
You guys hear me fumble through this pitch every week or so. Some weeks I don't even do it because I'm just like, I can't be bothered. I don't have the energy for that. There's a link to the fucking Patreon on our show notes.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just going to check the Patreon one day and see that there's no money there and what happened. I refunded it all. I just felt bad.
Yeah. I
sent it all back.
I couldn't do it.
I was like, man, these guys are just so nice. I just felt, why is it in the negative? I sent back more money, actually.
Yeah.
Felt really bad. I added $20 to each one of them.
Yeah.
Ended up handwritten apology.
And scene. I will never send you money back.
Yeah. Possibly a handwritten apology.
Yeah. Now you might get a handwritten apology.
With a quick Batman.
With a tiny Batman.
Yeah.
All right. We're done. See you guys later.
I'm going to watch the trailer again.
Oh, hey, you want to watch Superman the movie for next week?
Is that next week? Yeah, we should do that next week.
You want to do that? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do Superman the movie. You guys, dude, you know what? That Batman Forever review did really well, actually, in the numbers. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. We haven't talked about Superman the movie with Chris Reeve,
and there's just never been a better excuse. So,
nah.
Yeah.
I'm in my Superman era. I'm excited. All right, y'all. Until next time, keep some DC on your screen.
Bye.